Alright everybody, back on the Sherman Tank. I worked off camera and I applied this part right here on the front of the differential cover, and then I finished up the rear panel. You can see here. All I have to do now is attach the front here, like so. It's got a nice fit to it. And then this goes onto the rear back here like so. If I can get this to work. Never works right. There we go. Got a good fit. And then I'll have this part done. So I'm going to go ahead and get this two glued on. And then I'll move on to the next step, which will be shows up these steps right here. It'll probably be from 6 through 10. I'll work on this. I'll probably go ahead and set the camera up for that once I get all the parts out. But it's slowly getting there. I don't want to go too far into these builds, like an hour on a few parts here, an hour on a few parts there. I kind of want to get it all organized and start filming it when I start putting pieces onto the tank. So I'm going to go ahead and pause for now. I'll get these two mounted and I'll be right back. Alright everybody, another update on the tank. I got all the wheels on the lower hull. You can see here. Turned out okay. Everything's looking good. It's starting to look like a tank now. Here's the other side. So I'm going to let that dry. I'll put that to the side. And then my next step, I'm not going to worry about, shows you here the tracks. I'm going to hold off on those. My next step here will be the upper hull section. You can see right here, 14 through 17. So I'm going to go ahead and pull this stuff out of the box, prep it, get it ready, and work on that part there. So I figured I'd give everybody another update. It's looking good. Hopefully by tomorrow, Sunday, July 5th, I'll be almost ready to get this primered up, and I'll go ahead and show that part of it too. But it's looking good. So let me go ahead and pause for now, and I'll talk with everybody later. Alright guys, back on the tank, upper hull section. I'm applying a lot of little parts. Did work on the two hatches. And you can either have them open or closed. I'm going to have them closed, of course. This goes on the back side of the upper hull, like so. But it's got parts that you got to attach to it. I'll probably do that off camera. This part right here goes on the front, and then I've got these little hooks or whatever you want to call them right here, two of them. They go on each end here, and I'll go ahead and get this all set up and put together, and work on the rear of the upper hull. Once that's all done, I'll go ahead and show the results. So far everything's going together good. For the upper hull section of the tank, very tedious with all these little parts. I've got a lot more to go. Got a lot of parts that go on the side here that I might show that step. Not sure yet, but I figured to show everybody another update. I'm getting progress down here on the tank. Keeping my fingers crossed. I want to get this in a spray booth tomorrow and get it primered. So I'll go ahead and continue working. I'll pause for now and talk with everybody later. Alright guys, another update. Upper hull I got about finished. I've still got some more parts to put on, especially in the rear of the tank. This little part right here goes on the rear section right here, but it's going to cover all this up, and I want to make sure I get everything primered, so I may keep this off for now, primer it separate from the tank. And then once I give it the color I'm going to paint it, might be olive drab. I'm not sure yet when I'm going to paint the tank, but keep this part separate. But it does mount right back here, as you can see. I've got some more parts to put on the rear section of the tank. I applied all these small parts right here. They're off. I've got 3 to spare. Would have had 4 to spare, but when I was trying to take one off the tree here, it went flying. So I'm glad they give you a few of those to spare. But the upper hull section of the tank, make sure it's in. Make sure it's in the camera here to everybody. In frame, I mean, where everybody can see it. It's looking good. I just have a few more parts back here to apply in the front, and then the top section's done other than the turret. Keep my fingers crossed. I'll have this ready for the spray booth tomorrow for some primer, but I figured I'd give everybody a quick update. I was going to film these little parts right here on camera, but it was just too tedious. You can see I've got them mounted, and then in between are extra tracks. I don't know if I'm going to put them on. I'll think about it when I get there. And then there's the other side. It's looking good, so I'm going to go ahead and pause, continue working on this, and I'll talk with everybody later. Alright guys, another update. I've got it about finished. You can see here. Turret turns no problem. Pretty cool. A lot of work off camera. Too much tedious parts. You really have a lot of patience with this. But looks pretty good. I'll have a few more parts to add on, but I'll have it ready probably for some primer today. I'll let it dry. It's about noon on Sunday, July 5th. Looks pretty good. Side view. So I'll go ahead and pause. continue working on this, and I'll talk with everybody later. Alright everybody, another update on the Sherman Tank. Over the 4th of July weekend I worked on it, and yesterday I hit it with the Badger Steinol Gray Primer. I'll go ahead and turn this little turntable on so everybody can take a good look at the tank. I like the results. Tedious. A lot of parts to the tank, which is normal for tanks. You got a lot of small parts to work with, and you got to have some patience and take your time, which I did. I've have to say that this video for part 2 will probably be about an hour long. Thought about editing it into my program on my computer to speed it up some to where it won't be as long, but I think I'm just going to go ahead and just put everything together, put it into a video, and put it up on my YouTube channel. It's probably, like I said, it'll probably be about an hour long, but I say it's finished, other than getting ready to paint it, which the overall color will be olive drab XF62, and then I'll also probably will use some NATO black, which is XF69, and then I'll probably go ahead and maybe use some flat black, which is XF1, and then gunmetal, which is X10. I'll see what else it says in the instructions for colors, but I'll probably get ready to do this either today with the tank, paint it olive drab, but figured I'd give everybody a look at the tank. Like I said, it turned out pretty good. Just tedious. It's a tedious job with all the parts, but pays off in the end if you take your time and pay attention, follow the instructions. But even in the gray primer it has on a tank, it looks pretty cool. The tracks are rubber tracks. They look black to me. I don't know if I'm going to do anything to the tracks. I'm not going to weather this tank up. Everybody weathers everything today. I'm going to have mine look like it just come off the showroom floor, factory floor, whatever you want to call it. I'm not going to do that. I have another Sherman Tank in my inventory from the movie The Fury with Brad Pitt. Pretty good movie. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. That one I probably will weather up, but it's the same tank, identical tank. But that one I'll work on down the road and probably weather that all up and do a diorama on it. But figured I'd give everybody another look at the tank. I'm going to call it a wrap for part 2. I'd like to thank everybody for watching, and I'll talk with everybody later.